So hello everyone and welcome to this week's Akashic Business Wisdom Show with me, your host Natasha Nicole Harris, and I am so delighted to have Claire Chapman here as my guest to talk about effortless manifestation. Hey Claire, oh my goodness, this is going to be a really cool topic of conversation. So for those of you that don't know me, I am Natasha Nicole Harris. I'm an Akashic reader. I work with soul-led entrepreneurs and working with them to the next level of impact, leadership, magic, and all sorts of fun. So Claire and I very much talk a very similar language around all of this stuff, and we've had some powerful conversations in the past. So Claire, would you like to just introduce yourself? Just tell people a little bit about yourself before we head into this juicy, big topic.
Sure. And thank you so much, Natasha, for having me. This is going to be, we have some yummy conversations, don't we, in Voxer? So to be having them out live and sharing them, everybody gets the magic and the codes, whatever's going to download. So hi, everybody. I'm Claire Chapman. I'm a spiritual guide, a manifestation and transformation expert. I have a hell of a journey, and a story like everybody else. And so we're going to be digging deep into manifestation today, and we're just going to channel through and see what comes up. But I really love to work with women who are basically wanting more out of life. They want to be more of who they are. They want to do all the things that they love to do. They want to have all the things that they want. So I'm a manifester by human design anyway, so I'm all about being too much, too big, all the things, but it's about having that grounded energy within that as well, that you don't end up with what I call like empty desires, where you have the money, you have the relationship, you have the homes, the cars, the holidays, and yet you're still feeling like unfulfilled, or you're not feeling that true deep happiness. So even though I talk about the more that we want in our lives and having that self-expression, it's still done in a way where you just feel basically the lit up. Do you know what I mean? Like completely shining up, full. When I say that, like the fullness, the fulfillment, love, freedom, happiness. So we can have all of that, those feelings, and all the external. So I'm all about the moreness.
Yeah, I love that. All about the moreness, because it is so true, isn't it? I think so many of us are so like, we want to manifest, we want to learn how to manifest all the things outside of ourselves that we think are going to fulfill us, that are going to make sure we feel confident, we're going to feel like really, loved, welcomed, and we're going to have all the clients that we want, and then we're still not fulfilled because there's something else that's missing. So knowing how to manifest effortlessly, but knowing that it's filling us up, is such an important part of the puzzle, because we can keep manifesting and still out searching, going, well, why don't I feel like I should feel around it, right?
Yeah, 100%. And this is the very slippery slope, that you're asking for more and more and more and more, because you're coming from this empty place, because you're trying to fill that void. And that's a very different energy of when I have this, then. So the cause and effect. When I'm in the relationship, that will make me happy and feel loved. When I have the house that I desire, then I will have this. When I have the money or the business that I want, then I'll feel this. And that's the slippery slope. And that's where you get those things, like you say, and yet you're like, I still feel like me. I still don't feel fulfilled, for example. Let's go for more. That's one energy. But the energy that I deal with works on the opposite, that I really help women to have that relationship with themselves, both their human and their God source energy, and that like higher source power that runs through us. And when you have that relationship with yourself, that's what brings through the happiness. That's what brings through freedom, fulfillment, that feeling of love, like that you don't need for anything else outside of yourself. Like, I literally got to the stage now where I don't need my partner. I don't need my kids. I don't even need my house. As long as I have this connection with myself, with my God source energy, like I am whole. Let's use that word. I feel whole, that you don't need those things. But then it's just like, do you know what? I'll tell you a real quick story. So Simon's dad passed away a few months ago. and obviously we're sorting through stuff, and we're, you know, sorting through stuff in the house, and it just made me realize, it just made me click. Like, one minute his dad was there and he had all these things in his house and all this stuff, and next minute he wasn't, and the stuff still stood there, you know, the things are still there. And now it's like, well, what do we do with the clothes? What do we do with the TV? What do we do with the armchairs? And, you know, all this stuff. And a lot of it's just like, well, charity or house clearance. We have the, you know, the memorable stuff. And it made me think then, do you know what? The tangible things are actually just on rent to us during our life. Like, they're not ours. We don't take them with us because we can't. So they're not ours. It's just on rent. So then I was thinking, well, what do I want to rent whilst I'm here in my life? Do you know what? Yes, I might want the yacht. Yes, I might want, you know, the house and the, you know, the big houses and stuff. It's whatever your preference is. Like, for me, I'm not too worried. I say this now, it may change in years, but I've never really been one for designer clothes or anything like that. They just don't do it for me. You know, do I want a new sailing boat? Yes. Do I want to go and Airbnb, stay away more? Yes. So it's also about, like you say, I love that question, is like, when you're manifesting, like, I love to ask my clients why. And I know one of my coaches were like, you can't question why people want things. I'm like, yes, I can, because that is the whole point. People think they want something because it will give them what they think it wants. But when you find out what people want that for, then I'll be happy. It's like, well, then let's not worry about the thing. Let's work on the happiness for a minute. And then after time, they go, do you know what? I don't actually want that anymore. I thought I wanted that. So it's a great question.
Yes.
Why do I want that?
It is such a great question, isn't it? Because when we suddenly realize why we want something, we can then start to allow ourselves to be more in that energy of that vibration before we even have it. And we might still want it, or we, as you say, we might not. But it's like, what's it going to fulfill in us that we feel or deem to be empty or void, or that it will fill? And how can we allow ourselves to experience that already, and like right now, rather than waiting? Why are we putting off our happiness, our fulfillment, our fullness, our wholeness until we actually have it? I mean, that just seems crazy, right? Now I say out loud.
Exactly, it does. And when you think, oh, I'll wait until I have it, or, you know, when I have this, what I realized is, like, if this is where we are right now and this is what we desire, all that happens is this, and we go, oh, I never have it, I never get it. But it's like, well, if you come from this place of, and that's because you need the thing, maybe you need the money, you think you need the relationship, whether that's to prove yourself, like prove your worth, prove your value, whether it's to show people that you're good enough, like all these other things that get entwined and entangled in your manifestations. When you come from a very clear place, and we can talk a bit about the manifestation process, is like, when there is no need, there is no resistance, so it goes and you effortlessly like manifest like this. Whereas when there's a need to either fill a void or for proof or for something, that's where the resistance come, and you just find, you know, I asked for this last year and I didn't have it. I asked this 2 years ago and I still don't have it. 5 years ago I asked for this. Manifesting doesn't work for me. And it's just like, there's a bit of energy there that might need a bit of a cleanup in your
that's it. I like that. Like, clean it up a bit. It's like, what are we actually saying? What are we actually putting out there to the universe? It's like, oh, it's not here yet. Oh, okay, well then it's still not here. So it's like, how do we really, you know, and that resistance you talk about, we're constantly resisting the things that we want. We think we're being clear and like, hey, I want this, but everything we do, act and like behave, the way we behave towards it is all about putting up barriers, resistances, all of those things. And it's like, we give ourselves such a hard time unnecessarily. I feel doing that myself, you know, as well. Occasionally, it's recognizing that, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. And it is like, people are like, I just can't manifest. I need to learn how to manifest. And this is a crazy thing. Like, we manifest like every second of every day.
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying.
But what people end up doing is, rather than consciously and manifesting, cleaning up how they want to manifest, remove the resistance, ask the questions why.
Yeah.
They just manifest from old beliefs, old thoughts, old patternings. And people think they're stuck and they think it never happens for them. But what they're doing is manifesting the same reality over and over and over and over again. And when you play something like over and over and over again, if you imagine a picture like in a cinema on a reel, but every slide has the same picture on, there's no movement. So it looks stuck. And people are going, I'm stuck. And it's like, no, you need to change the belief patterns. You need to change the thought. You need to change what it is that, you're actually looking at, change the picture. So when you play it, it goes, and it looks different. Your reality will look different. So just a quick one. If, any of the watchers here don't see change in their lives, don't see their reality changing, then that's an indication to go back inside and start to look at your conscious thoughts. What are the thoughts you're having? Because you may think you want something, but then if your body's got resistance, or it doesn't believe it, or it's coming from worth, or it's coming to prove something, then actually you're going to be manifesting through the law of vibration rather than what you're asking yourself, asking what you want. So there's a lot in there.
Yeah, there is a lot in there. And it's so true, isn't it? We're always manifesting something, but it's not always what we want. So we're constantly manifesting. We're brilliant at it. So many people come to me and say, well, how do I manifest better? I want to become a better manifestor. I'm like, you're brilliant at it already.
Exactly.
Like, don't worry. You've got the art of manifesting down to a T. It's just not what you want. And we manifest, as you say, through the law of vibration. And I think that's a really great reminder for us to remember and realize that it's through the law of vibration that we manifest everything. So I love that. That's a really good one to kind of like, I'm manifesting this, I don't want it. Also, what's my vibration?
Exactly. Because your mind may go, I want money, but then if in your body there's a belief system that if you have more money you're greedy or something, then you can see the resistance, the disalignment there. So you need to be in full alignment. Like, this is what I want. Let's take it for example. This is, I want the 7-bedroom farmhouse. First of all, you have to be okay with the 4-bedroom house that you're in.
Yes.
You've got to be okay that you may never get that 7-bedroom farmhouse. You've got to know it doesn't mean anything to you. It won't prove anything. You're not trying to show anything. Everything's clear in that energy. You already feel amazing in the 4-bedroom, but you know what? It would be bloody lovely to have that 7-bedroom. Then the energy is like, like you're clean lining it. Like you're in alignment with that desire, because there's no attachment to it. There's no little gremlins hanging on to that. It doesn't mean anything, like, to have it. You just do. You just get to rent it.
You get to desire something you want. And I guess from what I hear there is that you love where you're at. You're happy with where you're at in that, but you just desire more. You just would love to have a bit more. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly okay. It's and you can have it. It's just, but we've got to be okay with where we're at right now to be able to create more. Because if we're not even happy with what we've got, how can we create more?
And be okay with not having the thing.
Yes.
I'm okay where I'm at, and I'm okay if I don't get it. That's what I found has been such a clean line for me. For example, when I was manifesting my partner Simon, I've been in relationships before, was in the marriage, and I knew exactly what I didn't want anymore. And I basically lived a solo life with 2 kids in a marriage, and I wasn't getting what I wanted from my partner, from my husband back then. And so I knew then, do you know what? I don't need a relationship. Like, I'm independent. I've been a single mum, or felt like I've been a single mum. I earn my own money. Like, I do all this stuff. I don't need a man. Now I want a man in my life.
Yes.
But if I'm going to have a man in my life, it's going to be like this, this, and this. And it was like, if this man is not 100% that, then I'm not bothered, because I don't need one. I'm not going to sacrifice. That's the other thing. Like, you get to set your standards very clear.
Yeah.
And mine were basically, if there's one thing I don't like about this bloke, I'm out. Like, I don't need to put up with it. I'm not going to sacrifice. And to be honest, like, there is not one thing about Simon that I don't like. And I can't believe the words come out of my mouth. Like, honestly, we work together, we live together, we're almost 24/7 together. Like, yeah, we've got our own little hobbies and stuff like that as well, but not many. All our friends are joint friends. And you think, how did that work? And people go, you're so lucky. And it's like, no, I set that standard for myself, because I know what it was like before, when there were things that annoyed me, niggled me, I didn't like, I sacrificed. And it was just like, no, if there's one thing, I'm out. Like, because I don't need that man. And within like a couple of days, I met Simon. We had a 12-hour first date. And I think we had our second date within a couple of days. And within like about 8 weeks, he'd moved in. Is a long story about that. But yeah, moved in, kids all combined. And we've been together 7.5 years. He got his dog and everything. Like, we all just. And so when you have that clean line, when you get rid of attachment to it, meaning to it, and you don't need that, it comes in so fast. I got one other example, which is a funny example of manifesting. So the other day, about a month ago, I wanted to chill out. And I love Netflix. I love movies. I love some of my series. And just that day, I was like, do you know what? I got no kids. I was supposed to do business, whatever that meant. And I just wanted to go and watch the movies on Netflix. So I watched this Italian movie. And then I was like, oh, cool. Went to watch another movie and went, oh, this one's in Italy as well. Okay, I'll roll with this. We're obviously on an Italian theme.
Yeah.
And with that in my vision, I could see beef, tomatoes, mozzarella cheese, and basil on a plate, like for lunch. And I was like, nice. Didn't think any more of it. Like, it wasn't a thing. There was no attachment or anything. Watched the third film, Italian. And it was a Sunday, and I knew I hadn't gone shopping for anything for dinner Sunday night. So I knew I had to pop out in between somewhere to the shop to get something for dinner that night. So we'd sorted out what we were going to have for dinner previously. So we're just going around the shop, got our stuff, got to the till, and there was this odd pizza like on the side. Where someone's shopping and they either go, I haven't got time, I'll put it on the side, or it got caught up and got hooked behind, who knows. There was this pizza there, and I just went, there's pizza there. Anyway, we stood there for a while. It's taken a minute to go through the checkout. And I leaned over and I looked at this pizza, and it was tomato, basil, and mozzarella. Pesto, which is basil, and mozzarella. And it took me a moment, but I was like, that's my tomato, mozzarella, and my basil, like in the pesto. And I was like, wow, that was frigging quick. Like, within the hour, that almost got served up. Now, it didn't come as the fresh that I was thinking it was going to come through, but I got rid of all the attachment. And then I got to decide, well, do I want it in a form of a pizza? And it was a lovely wood fire pizza. I was like, sorry, should we have the pizza? Hell yes. So like, just a thought, just a vision, and it came through. And I have story after story after story after story of how simple that is, with money, cars, houses, my partner, sun umbrellas, dishcloth, laundry baskets, like, you name the frigging thing. Like, even up to 175,000, 11,000 pounds, like I say, everything. It happens effortlessly in that way. When you remove that needs, like you say, and you're okay where you're at. And it chuckle, like, every time, like, I just saw the pizza, I was like, pizza, I looked again, oh my god, that was the tomato monster. Like, it almost like shocks you, but it gets to be exciting when stuff comes in.
And I think that's it, isn't it? It's like, often we just dismiss the smaller things. It's like, it's not relevant, it's not, and it's like really recognizing that we're in that vibration and we're in that field of like opening up a channel to receive something. And it doesn't always show up as in the form that we expect it, but like when it does, it's like, hey, it's here, and we have to celebrate it. We have to acknowledge it. We have to be in that energy of it, no matter how small. We're so good at dismissing things. And I think that also, makes manifestation process harder, because it can't be that simple. Can't be that easy, right?
Yeah. So the way you heard about, gratitude, and we need to be grateful for what we have and things like that. And like Melanie and Leah talks about, gratitude is a celebration is a party in gratitude. And so I've been around these words for a long time, but it was only recently when I started to create my manifestation program that I changed gratitude now. And gratitude for me is a pat on the back.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's exactly like it is for me. It's like,
because we are the creators. We create our reality.
Yes.
So what is in front of us right now, whether it be this MacBook, my chest of drawers, my phone, partner, money, cars, whatever it is, we have created that in our reality. So when I look back now, instead of going, oh, I'm so grateful for what I have, I kind of go, you did that. And it's kind of the reminder of, you know how powerful you are.
Yes.
You've done that. And if there's people out there right now that are like, yeah, it's great when you're manifesting everything you want, but what about when you're manifesting all the stuff that you don't want, or, illness, or, negative relationships, or lack and stuff like that? You are still creating that. So if you can take on this radical responsibility, and this is a task for all of you, like,
love that radical responsibility.
Radical. That was one of my programs from 2 years ago. It was called what was it called? Elevate No Matter What. And it was all about unshakable radical responsibility. You have to take responsibility, because it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You have created that. You have created it. You may not like it, but when you take that radical responsibility that you have created that, you take back your power, and you get to say, I created what I might not want, which means now I get to create what I do want. And that's where the power comes in. So the gratitude for me is like, you did that. Remember your power. Remember that source God energy that manifests for you, like the how is done for you. Remember you are that. Remember, like, pat yourself on the back, bring back your power no matter what. So if you, I know, had a real dodgy situation and you're late and somebody's throwing coffee over you and this, that, and the other, like, oh, I was just about to go in a meeting and I bumped into somebody and I got coffee on me now. Like, you also created that. And they're your little warnings. Like, I know now that if something slightly negative goes wrong, like maybe there's something spill or I drop something, for example, today, like, I've been sailing at 3 o'clock, like an hour before we're supposed to go live. I've just capsized out a boat. I need to have a shower. I'm rushing. I need to drive home. I need to get set up. And with that, I dropped my car key and it's like a thumb, and it flew out my hands across the changing room under a shower door. And I was like, oh shit, that, like, I need to get back to do this interview. And I thought, I hope it hadn't smashed, because it went on the tiles. But in that moment, that was like a little reminder, Claire, stop,
slow down,
breathe, come back. You're going to be okay. You're going to make it in time, and go and pick up that, because those are all these little signs, when these little niggles, when somebody bumps into you, when there's a traffic jam, when there's stuff, you've created that. These things don't happen to you. You get to take back that power. And I had to just, it's going to be fine. There's no rush. There's no pressure. You're going to be there for 4 o'clock. Like, it's all good. And we create all these environments.
Yeah. And then we can change the outcome of it, right? Because if we carry on along that train of like, oh my God, I'm going to be late, and then everything else keeps going wrong, or we can take back our power and go, okay, just got a little reminder here. And then you can celebrate yourself for how you, navigated all those little things and took your power back and went, because of me, because of like the power I hold, the creative power that I hold within me, I actually got here in time, unflappable, looking gorgeous, and here ready for a powerful conversation. And that's the beauty of it. It's like it is radical responsibility, and that can feel quite harsh sometimes when we're like, yeah, but it's not my fault. Well, there's no blame, there's no fault in anything. It's just we want to take responsibility that we have the power to change something if it's not going the way we want. So I absolutely love that. And manifestation hasn't always been easy for you either, has it, Claire? I mean, like, it's like there's been things in your, not manifestation, but the things that have, you've navigated to get to this point, and teaching this have been quite inspirational.
Yeah, because my journey, just quickly, is, you go back nearly 8 years ago, everything happened to me. It was none of my fault. It was their fault. It was relationship fault, men's fault, the company I used to work for, it's their fault. It was everybody else's fault. It was my husband's fault. It was everybody else's fault. Life was throw me but negative cards. Do you know what I mean? And from that place, you can't heal. Like, you cannot live the life you desire, because all you've done is put your power into everybody else. Now you're waiting for your husband to change, your partners to change, your friends to change, the world to change, the government to change, prices of petrol to change, like whatever the hell it is. You're putting all your power into something, and you're like, well, the only way I can change is if all this changes outside of ourselves. And this is where we talk about radical responsibility. So that for me ended up looking like depression, bipolar, divorce. And yet I had everything before that: the marriage, the cars, the kids, like jobs, money, brand new BMWs, like every 6 months. It was ridiculous. Had all those things, yet felt this depression, bipolar, and all this emptiness. And that's why that is so important to me. It's not that made me empty. It's because I was empty. Even the things made me, they just amplified the emptiness and the attachment, like the detachment, the disempowerment. I was so disempowered. And so the journey of transformation for me, wanting more without feeling like I can't have it, wanting more and not knowing how I was going to get there. And I've gone through many hurdles. Like, we've all got our stories. Depression, bipolar, divorce, like my dad having cancer, limbs removed, Simon's stroke recently, like all the freaking stuff, like, honestly. And yet I still show up for life, because I know that I create those elements and I take back my power. But when you have that relationship with this God source energy, honestly, I remember a client of mine working with me, and she was like, how can you be so strong through all of this that's happening? We had COVID, we had cancer, we had stroke, we had homeschooling 4 kids. I was running summits and stuff all at the same time. Like, it was mental. How are you so strong? And it took me a few days to think, well, I'm not strong. I don't, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna push
that's the difference, right?
That to me, that's powerful. But an empowered woman is so connected to all of who she is. She's connected to her knowing and her truth. And then I start looking at going, I know exactly why Simon had his stroke. Like, this was his call to rechange how he thought about his life, how he was showing up in his life. Like, there's a new opportunity. He was wiped away from us for months, and it was like, well, now this is my turn to stand up and to be independent. And so I always, everything as a gift, everything as an opportunity. And manifestation, like, I never knew anything about manifestation. I was never connected to my God source energy, like none of this stuff. I wouldn't have a clue. But in my lowest day, I literally heard these words: you have to help yourself. And I was like, who said that? Where did that come from?
What? Hello?
What was that? They have power in those words. And it was those words, when I start to look that up, was like, self-development. So I knew, take the relationships, every relationship I had, nobody really loved me. I wasn't, it was never what I wanted. I was people pleasing. I remember one day I was seeing this guy, and he was on holiday with his mates. I went into his house, I changed all his bedding, made sure it was all lovely when he came home, to then find out he was having, having his way with somebody else whilst he was away. It's all those kind of things. And it's like, when you take your power back, when you look at who you are, when you love who you are, when you realize your worth, when you step back into that. So empowerment for me is number one, way over manifestation. Manifestation is like the game of fun, the game of play. Let's play in manifestation. But the transformation is taking back your power and creating creating that wholeness, that fullness, just through you and the relationship with you yourself first, and then you get to amplify out. So yeah, I've been through it all, and I'm definitely in a space right now where I've done so much of the healing. Like, I'm learning new ways, I'm opening and expanding now to play in this pleasure, you know, to keep moving through. Yeah, what can we manifest? What can we clean up? What can I manifest? What needs cleaning up? And leading women through on the next level, like this expansiveness now, this space where they get to, because you can manifest something, but if you can't hold it either, or it's unfulfilling, what's the point? I remember someone saying, you can have all the success, but if you're not happy with it, that's not really true success.
No, it's like a totally different understanding, isn't it? It's like showing things. And I think, you know, we're understanding the process of manifestation so much more, like to when The Secret came out and all those things in the past, and like how we've evolved that consciousness around who we are and how powerful we are, and how the manifestation process all takes place. But I love that, you know, the play in the pleasure. I mean, my God, like how often have we been told, hey, just go play in pleasure? It's like, we can't do that. We have to do it through hard work. It's got to be really exhausting. It's got to be terrible. Like you can't possibly just go play in the pleasure and expect things to happen. But that's where the magic really does happen. And I thank you for sharing your story, because I think, you know, in your path, and 8 years isn't that long ago. It feels like a lifetime, because I think that's probably a similar kind of length to my journey as well. It's like how quickly we really can transform from one place to another, and seeing what we can overcome by purely taking that radical responsibility that you talk about, and really knowing that we are the powerful creators and that we create our own reality. So like, thank you for that, because I think that that's so beautiful. And I know people are watching, and I haven't said this already, but obviously if there are questions, please do ask them. If you're watching the replay, do ask questions and tag us, and we will come back to it. But I think that that's so beautiful. You know, I have to help myself. Those words came through you. I mean, like, wow.
They, like, you know how I'm an engineer by trade, but like calibration, benchmarking, like those, when I'm in a sticky spot, or I'm in a place where I'm just like, oh, you know, because I still have those days, you know, we're not perfect, because wherever we're going up to the next level, then the new, then there's still deeper healing to come through. There's still, you know, mind shifts to go through, and I have my tools and stuff that I help myself and my clients with. I still have those, but if I ever get really, really in a sticky space, I just sink back down. It's like, you have to help yourself. And this is where we step into emotional intelligence, taking radical responsibility, becoming unshakable, plugging into that power source, that God source energy, that energizes you, that brings you through, where you get that guidance, where you get that compassion and that love that starts to come through you. And when you are whole in this place, like, you just illuminate, like you just become a friggin' magnet, honestly. And like you say, when you're in that play mode with manifestation, it's like, you don't even need it. It's like your birthday. Well, I don't need anything, but you know what? If what, you know, this is on offer, that's on offer, then I'll take one of these. I'll take one of these, like, because none of us need any of that stuff. Like, we need water, we need a shelter. That could be a tent, you know, a bit of food, an outfit to stick on our body so we're not running around naked. Those things you might need.
I don't like
that. New world. But there's, like, you know, you could be on somebody's sofa, you could have a bottle of water in your hand, you could have just had a meal. Like, yeah, those things you need. But anything outside of that, you don't need these.
No.
We don't need all beautiful bedding. We don't need all these, like, closets and everything else going around. I don't need my nails done. I don't need my hair cut. Like, we don't. And we all go, oh, but I need this. We don't. It's just pure desire.
Yes.
This is pure desire. Nothing gets in the way of you upgrading your new phone. You're like, hell yes. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it just all comes from that fun, choice, play. And the biggest thing is, take away the need. If you need something, or you think you need something, check out what the need is. Is it the need? Is it proof? Is it whatever? Whip that out, clean that through, connect back to yourself, connect back to that God source energy where you feel whole without the thing you want. Get on there and create like a Christmas list.
Yeah, baby. Yes, I love it. I love it. There are so many little nuggets and seeds that you've kind of thrown out there, and I've been scribbling away, and there's just like so much of it in what you've just said in like 35 minutes. I mean, it's incredible. And it's like it is our time now. It's like our time to really show how much power we've got, like creating what we want from a place of desire. You know, we can have whatever we want, like whatever we want, but it's got to come from this place of desire, as you talk about, and not this like, I need this to make me feel whole. I need this to make me feel like I'm a success. You know, we're like, I know people, anyone that's watching this and connects with this at any point in whatever timeline it is like, we are here to have an impact on the world. We're here to make a difference. And to know that we're doing that, we don't need to have like a gajillion like followers and like be doing, it's like we're doing it already, and keep building from that space and like how we are creating things, because it's like, that's the beauty of it. That's when we really, as you say, pat yourself on the back to say, you are doing a freaking amazing job already. Like, honor that, celebrate that, honor you, be grateful for you, and keep building from that place. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And like, we come first always, like,
yes,
you know, like I do everything for me first. And then I know it's beneficial for my family. I know it's beneficial for friends. I know it comes through for my clients. And I'm all about the relationship with self. And since Simon's stroke nearly 11 months ago, it was only this weekend that I realized that I had disconnected from the relationship with myself. And that looked like stuck, empty, lost, confused. Like, these are all the signs that you're not connected to yourself whole, you know, fully. And it was in that moment I went, whoa, my only job right now is to deepen and connect back to that relationship with myself. Like I do now every single day. I have my tools and techniques that I use that work for me and my clients that connect you back. And that is the work to be done. Keep coming in here. Keep coming in here. And then magically your clients come in, like money comes in, doorways open, opportunities open.
It all starts with how like aligned we feel, and that vibrational, how did you say it? The vibrational alignment, like we're manifesting from the law of vibration. And that's it. And just thinking about, you know, that's something I will take away from this conversation, because I love that little phrase. It's like, what's my vibration? And it's like,
which simply is, how do you feel? How do you feel when you think about what you want? Is it like, oh, I want 100,000, but I don't know how I'm ever going to get that? Guess what? That's not clean. It's not alive. It's like people. We were driving home from the sailing club, and on our local radio, there's been a competition. If you hear this, 3 different people in a row, you get 100,000. 2 of them, 10. One of them, £1,000. And I drive my car like all the time, and I've never been in the car long enough to actually hear this stuff. And I don't often have the radio on. We're leaving the sailing club today. I heard the first song. I was like, oh my God, it's Amy Whitehouse, quick. I threw the phone in the back to the kids and went, text this to this number, like play or whatever the answer was. And then the next song come on. Oh my God, that's the second one. Let's hit play again. Send in that entry again, like 2 songs. And then we just lost ourselves and went, oh my gosh, imagine like if we won the 10,000, like they called us back. And then I was like, what if they call us when I'm on this call right now? They haven't, but you know,
you'll be like, I will let you take it. Don't worry. Doing it live. Brilliant.
There is no attachment to it. But it was just like, oh my God, can you imagine? Like we could win 10 grand. But before the 2 were up, we were like, what if the third one comes down? What if that's 100K? What if they pick us? What if I'm on the show with Natasha and they phone me up? First of all, I was like, oh my God, what would I do? Because we're live. And I'd just be like, got to take this. And this is how we manifest when you don't need any of this. But the feeling in my body was like, oh my God, could you imagine? And this is what I did with $11,111 with Melanie and Leah. Like the first time she did one of the programs, like I was just like, it was like slam dunk. I'd already like 11,111. And I just knew in my body, I knew what I was going to do with it. I declared it to the universe. Like it was just done. And like when she pulled out my name, like I already knew it because I already knew it, but the shock in my human was like, and I think that was the first time that I realized like the power of a thought, the power of that excitement, and that knowing was just like done deal.
Magic.
Yeah. And it does shock your human. Now
your human is like, what the?
Yeah, even the pizza, my human was like, yeah.
Are you
pizza.
kidding me?
Yeah, mozzarella, tomato.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like an hour ago, I was thinking about blah, blah, blah. Is manifestation gets to be so much fun. Honestly, I'm sure.
And like, let's have more fun with it, right?
It's so simple. You're doing it every single day. Like you don't even have to do manifesting. Like the universe does that bit for you. You just got to decide what you want.
Yeah.
And get ready to receive it.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So Claire, is there, we could talk about this forever. Is there kind of like, I mean, we've talked about so many things. Like, is there one thing that you would say to people, like in this process, start here? Or is that not? Like, what would you say to anyone that's watching? Like, where would you start?
I would look at what is it I want? And I would question myself out. Like, I love perspective. I love going around a wheel, like 360. Yeah. Why do I want this?
Yeah.
Why do I really want this? What do I think? These are the questions. Why do I want this?
Yeah.
What do I think I will get when I have that? How do I think I will feel when I have that? And look at where you're not feeling that now. Clear that up. Yeah. And if you decide, you know, there's no resistance there, you're good. Like, just go for it and let it go. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Here's one statement. One thought is all it takes.
Yes, we think we've got to keep on it and like hold on to it. Like, I've got to think this thing 100,000 times in one day and then it'll be mine. Yes.
No, because that, and I'll give you a quick example of that. That is the same as you having your birthday. Yeah. And your partner's like, what would you like, my love? And you're like, oh, I want this new Gucci watch or something. And he's like, done. Like, I got you, babe. You know, and then every day for the next month before your birthday, you're going, have you got the watch yet? Have you got the watch yet? Did you get the watch today? Did you buy the watch today? The chances of you getting that watch from him at the end of the month, like after 30 days of asking him every day as he bought the bloody watch, chances of you getting that, pretty slim. He's probably going to go, do you know what? I'm going to take it back. Or do you know what? I'm not even buying that yet. It's the same thing. But when you sit there, let's use that example then to help you out with your manifestation process, is like, you think somebody asks you, so you see something that you want and you literally, oh my gosh, I would love that. Like, so you said to your partner, yeah, I would love this watch, please. You know, put it out there as an idea. And then you can like, oh, I can see myself wearing it. What's it going to feel like when I got my new watch on? Yeah, like you're just doing that to yourself. And then the anticipation starts to build up and you're like, my birthday's getting a bit closer. Like, oh my gosh, like this feels so good. Like, oh, I'm going to be getting the watch type thing. And then when you get it, it's like, no, now you actually get to see it, smell it, taste it, hear it, touch it. Yeah. And but you haven't been asking the universe like 20 million times for one thing, like one thought of tomato. And that's why I'm using that example. One thought, tomato, basil, mozzarella. It came an hour later in a pizza. I didn't expect it to be a pizza. It's a pizza. One last thing, another one, really, really simple. Two things. Dishwasher cloths. There was certain dishwasher cloths that I wanted, a dishcloth that I wanted. And with that, a few days later, my dad bought them. And I went, wow, where'd you get them from? He said, Amazon. And I was like, oh, I don't want to order them or anything. Didn't think no more of it. And I'm walking around the shop and I found in a very random place this pack of dishcloths. I searched that shop all around where all the kitchen stuff, everything is. Nowhere to be seen. One pack. And I was like, oh, of course.
Yes.
We were on the beach in Mallorca. And it's the first day and we step onto the beach and everybody's got these purple umbrellas. And I went, oh, they're obviously sold locally somewhere. Yeah. We'll have to get one of those umbrellas. Like, you know, we just have one of those umbrellas maybe. Didn't need it, whatever. Just the thought came through. A couple of days later, we're led on the beach and I was led on my front looking up. And this guy from the back of the beach walks down past about 5 or 6 different families right up to me. And I look up and he's like, we're just leaving. Would you like the umbrella? And I'm like, why didn't he go to the other families that were close to him? Why didn't he come straight? And I was like, yes,
That's
please.
it.
He's like, you've done it again. And I'm like, because you don't need to overcomplicate it.
Yes.
You don't need to over.
So
one
keep
thought
it simple.
Takes. Yes. So what's your thoughts?
Watch those thoughts. Absolutely.
And I'll give you the negative on this. One day, me and my friend had a conversation. We didn't have much money at the time. And we were going, oh, do you know what? I wish somebody just went in the back of my car and we just got a little bit of cash. And by that afternoon, I phoned her up and I said, somebody's just gone in the back of my car. Wrote my car off. Yeah, there was money. And she went, oh my God, I just wish my ex-partner was dead. I was like, you best watch what you think. And that's how quick it can work out. It may be a joke.
You were joking. Got to clean those thoughts up.
You were joking. So one thought is all it takes.
That was the other nugget from today. Oh my gosh, so many, Claire. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. So as a last, where can people find you if they want to know more about what you do and how you work and want to reach out to you? Where can they find you?
Again, very simple. It's just Claire Chapman, Claire Chapman on Facebook, and Claire_Louise_Chapman on Instagram. I don't really post much on Instagram, but I use my stories all the time over there, and I got my links and stuff over there. But yeah, just personal profile and Instagram. That's all I use. There's no links, there's no nothing like that. And if you want my website, it's currently clairechapmancoaching.com.
Brilliant. Oh my gosh, go hang out with Claire. I love her posts. She has a wisdom that comes through on her posts are just divine. So go check out Claire, and yeah, get in touch with Claire if you have any questions. Comment here, let us know how you enjoyed this this chit chat, this inspiring conversation. I've really loved it, Claire. I thank you so much for coming on my show and chatting with me about manifesting easily. You know, it can be effortless. It really truly can. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with me and with everyone else. And I know we're going to be having more powerful conversations at some point in the future. But yes, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Claire. And we'll see you all again next week in the show, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.